What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, Two Opinions on the Best New Music. And in this episode, we're talking about English Graffiti by the Vaccines. And we're asking the question, are they painting musical murals or illegible rubbish with this album? But before we get into all that, we'll kick things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
And I'll start with a little background on the Vaccines for you. They are an English indie rock quartet. If you couldn't tell by the name of the album, they were formed in West London in 2012. Their debut, What Did You Expect from the Vaccines, came out in 2012 and was the best-selling debut album of that year, 2011. And that was followed by Come of Age in 2012, which charted at #1 in the UK upon its release. And so that makes this their third album, if you're tracking with us. And it's also the first to be recorded in the US, in upstate New York. They worked with producer Dave Friedman, who's known for his work with the Flaming Lips, and also co-production with Cole M. Grief Neal, who's worked with Ariel Pink, and Beck. So take all that as you will, and let's talk about what it sounds like. Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, I think English Graffiti sounds like Radiohead, Wilco, and The Shins march to a slower bass drum of death.
Nice, nice. I think it sounds like OK Go, spray painted over the Ramones, spray painted over the Beach Boys.
I like it, dude. Nice, nice.
Thanks. And yeah, let's talk about some key tracks. I'm going with number 8. It's called Radio Bikini. What about you, Derek?
I'm going with Stranger, which is track 13 off the deluxe edition album, which, you know, here at last week's album we go, go big, deluxe, or go home.
Yeah. All right, well, then I'll kick us off with track number 8. It's called Radio Bikini. As I mentioned, it's got really crunchy percussion, fuzzy guitars, it's blippy effects, some really warm vocals, really dreamy bridge, scorching, almost 8-bit guitar solo coming in after it. And it's just really fast-paced and frenetic and fun. And in the bridge, he says, I came so close, right out of the blue. Now I got you. And that, for me, took on a whole new meaning when I looked up the title of the song. It's actually an acclaimed documentary about atomic bomb testing on Bikini Islands. So that makes the whole song take on a lot heavier topic. But you can't deny it's really upbeat and rumpus, and you almost can't even think too hard about that topic while you're listening to it. It's just tons of fun. So that's why I'm digging it. Tell us about number 13, Stranger, Derek.
Stranger opens up with this growing piano riff that really kind of repeats throughout the song. There's some spacey synths, murmurs of slide guitar, some strummed acoustic guitar. So it really achieves this kind of alt country sound with this psychedelic twist, which I thought kind of came through a lot on the latter half of the album. There's some sludgy percussion, bass snare, heavy drum beat. So really just kind of some interesting different kind of sounds coming together under this psychedelic alt country umbrella, which I thought was cool. The lyrics here is a commentary on how questioning how close relationships can be in the world of electronic communication, which again kind of became a recurring theme here. One example I really liked, he says, phone, photography, and private exhibition. Is any of it real? Just as I suspected, difficult to read, but pretty unexpected. So just really, the theme of the song was interesting to me, and the sound just really drew me in.
Nice. Yeah, that is a good one. Let's talk about best lyrics. I'm going to go with one from a track called Give Me a Sign. And he says, would you blow me kisses if I kept my distance? Would you send a hurricane as proof of your existence? If I pick up speed, will it take me with you? And it's got their signature sort of sarcasm you hear coming through in a lot of the lines. But it also ties back to the overall theme of the album, which Derek touched on, trying to connect in this hyper-connected age. And overall, there's not a whole lot of lyrical depth on the album, I would say, maybe minus the key track I talked about. But I think this is a good example of when they nail that line between shallow and deep. So what line were you digging, Derek?
Kevin, you just lobbed me up a softball because this one, I think, directly goes back to that shallow or deep. The first line is going to be very deep, at least here. This comes from Want You So Bad, Breaststroke in Aftershave, Ocean, Get Our Petrol in Motion, shaking your head with dissatisfaction, living in hope for the best reaction. I just really like this one. The wordplay I thought was great. Going deep in the aftershave ocean there. Thanks, Kevin. And, you know, again, kind of this tongue-in-cheek optimism, you know, that's, you know, I think was just beneath the surface, but at the same time tempered by, you know, knowing the constraints of, you know, as you said, kind of the electronic communication and overuse of. Yeah, just really like that line, though.
Nice, nice. All right, let's talk about overall rating and answering the big question on English graffiti. Are the vaccines painting musical murals or illegible rubbish? Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, you know, I think this is a great question because I think as we both kind of spoke to in our different key tracks, you know, they really kind of cover vast ground sonically, you know, kind of the hard charging, electric guitars of Bikini Radio to the, you know, mournful murmurs of slide guitar on Stranger, the one I selected. But at the same time, I think I'm going with musical murals and not illegible rubbish. This album really kind of grew on me. I guess maybe at first, the disparity in sound, you know, the hard charging rock of the first half versus the maybe more reflective, sparser, instrumentally second half. I really started to like that contrast. You know, I think he said maybe, you know, nothing, you know, not a lot of depth lyrically, but at the same time, I think there were at least addressing interesting subjects, which we've kind of touched on here in other reviews, you know, just kind of this emerging theme of questioning interpersonal relationships in this modern day of electronic communication. That being said, I'm going to go with an overall rating of 4. I dug this, and you know, the vaccines might help keep me from getting the common cold for the next couple weeks, or so we can hope.
Nice, nice. I am going to mostly agree with you here, Derek. To answer the question first, musical murals, I don't know, but I think they're small masterpieces. Every song is really short and punchy, and most of them really fun and catchy. To echo what you said, I thought the first third, namely tracks 1 through 4, really strong coming out of the gate. 5 through 7 kind of mellowed out and chilled out, and but I did think it picked back up. Excuse me, particularly at tracks 8 through 11 for a nice finish. I thought they stayed true to the theme of trying to connect in this super connected world. I think they straddled the line between raw and smooth really, really well. And I think they're taking a lot more chances on this album than they have on previous ones, and it's paying much bigger dividends when they push their sort of pop rock, pure pop rock sound into these more psychedelic spaces. I think their music gets much more interesting and gripping without losing their inherent charm. Overall rating, I'm going to go 4 out of 5 as well, Derek. So there you have it, guys. A collective 8 out of 10 from Derek and myself, and we both agree it is not illegible rubbish, as the Brits would say. So definitely check this one out and let us know what you guys think. As always, I am Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And don't forget to subscribe to us here at last week's album, 2 opinions on the best new music. See you next time, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.